Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. After a fire on Christmas Day destroyed the building, the Prince Albert Salvation Army is getting back on its feet. The organization has moved to the Union Building downtown. It says the people who rely on its services have been able to find the new location. Sometimes 70 people will use the warming center at night. The Salvation Army says it's been handing out winter clothes and serving about 80 meals daily. And to cover operational costs, there's an upcoming fundraiser dinner.
Some of the replacement of stuff that we need is not cheap. I have already spent, in 1 week, I spent $7,000 on groceries.
Last year's Plates of Hope raised $65,000 to cover a brand new professional kitchen, which was also lost in the fire. Prince Albert's complex needs facility is one step closer to opening. The province says it is moving forward with plans to renovate a facility on 9th Street East, which aims to help people who are intoxicated and could be a danger to themselves or others. It will have on-site health care and security professionals to care for up to 15 people in crisis for up to 24 hours, with police being the only ones who can take clients to the site. While there, individuals will be connected to services and supports to help them with long-term recovery. The province says a company has been hired to do the design and facility work, is underway to award a construction contract and find an organization to run it. The goal is for the center to be running by summer. An information night is being held February 10th at Prince Albert City Hall. This will be Saskatchewan's third complex needs facility, with one operating in both Saskatoon and Regina. The Victoria Hospital is back in the spotlight after Prince Albert's mayor revealed the city is being asked to contribute tens of millions of dollars. It happened during Mayor Bill Pawlinski's State of the City address. He told community leaders the SHA asked the city for a $30 million contribution to the hospital project. The NDP says this request contradicts comments made in the legislature last November when Premier Moe and Health Minister Cockrell said the Victoria Hospital would be exempt from any community share. The province told CTV News this arrangement isn't new, and it's the case with all healthcare facility projects.
My honest and sincere intent was to convey to the public that we're a growing city, that we're progressive, and that we really need to figure out how we're going to manage through the financial challenges. And it wasn't to create fear or panic. It was just simply to say, this is the current state.
Pawlinski says the city was told the money would go toward furniture, equipment, and fixtures. The province says this funding arrangement was clearly outlined when the project was announced in 2020. Well, Jeff, if you were a hockey player, you'd be loving some of these plus temperatures if it was plus minus.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, the ice is a little rubbery. So, yes, we've got some very mild conditions that are going to continue into the weekend. It'll drop a little bit in temperature-wise on Friday, but it's still not going to be super cold. It certainly won't even be cooler than seasonal. So, mild conditions will prevail. We're going to be keeping our eye on another system sort of sliding in from parts of Alberta. We didn't see a lot in the way of snow in central and southern parts of the province. We'll have totals for you for what they received up north. But ultimately, mild conditions are going to prevail right into next week.
All right, thanks, Jeff. A Saskatoon man says he was shocked to see his sister's obituary rewritten and reposted to a third-party website without his consent. Matthew Marinelli's sister died in December. Her obituary described a hard worker and a devoted mother. But Marinelli says a different version of her obituary later appeared on a website called Echo Vita, which reposts obituaries and accepts donations to plant trees and light candles. He says the wording was altered and included false information.
It was quite appalling, and then to realize that on this fake obituary it was stating that she was survived by her husband, but yet her husband had died like 10 years before that.
Says he reached out to the company asking it to remove the post, which it has since done. A spokesperson with Ecovita told CTV News its goal is to amplify publicly available obituaries to inform the public of a death. The e-bike industry appears to be feeling the impacts of increased tariffs for their American customers. Saskatoon-based Bike Tricks has been serving customers in the United States for the last 11 years. But the company says the recent tariff announcements for steel and aluminum have impacted sales. The company says there's an overstock of bikes which used to be popular with Americans. The founder says the $2,400 bikes now cost more than $4,000 US. After marking down the bikes, he's gone to social media sharing the reason for a big sale.
It costs us more to get the high performance stuff, but now the problem is we're stuck with these high performance bikes that we can't really sell as much volume as we want in Canada. Obviously, the post that we made on Facebook has gotten pretty good, lots of attention, and we've moved quite a bit of these bikes in the last few weeks. We still have a few left, but yeah, it's improving, but that's the big challenge we're fighting with.
Thomas estimates a nearly 90% drop in American customers in the last year. This afternoon, we introduce you to a new superhero created right here in Saskatchewan. This is Skybreaker. He's found as a baby abandoned in a prairie field and grows up discovering he has powers. The story, described as Smallville meets Ted Lasso, is written by Steve Boyd, who moved to Saskatoon from Tennessee in 2017. Skybreaker is more than a story about a superhero. It's Boyd's love letter to Canada. The comic includes subtle nods from Skybreaker wearing a tragically hip t-shirt to mentions of Métis culture. But Boyd intentionally avoids the obvious Canadian stereotypes, so no mention of moose or maple syrup.
I want it to be a window to living in Canada because my experience is, and I can only speak for myself, but I feel like Canadians know a ton about the U.S., but Americans know criminally little about Canada. I want the book to act as kind of a bridge.
Boyd says his dream is to have a publisher pick up the book. When we come back, the YWCA prepares for a fundraiser. Jasmine Pelche finds out more about the coldest night of the year walkathon.
We are with David from the YWCA to talk about coldest night of the year, which is coming up. And it's not technically the actual coldest night of the year, probably, but it's an event. How would you explain it to someone who doesn't know what coldest night of the year is?
So coldest night of the year is a family-friendly walkathon, basically. We have people sign up to walk 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers with us. And the actual event is on Saturday, February 28th. But we're fundraising and looking for sponsors and people to sign up and walk and fundraise with us all month long. So yeah, it's a very family-friendly environment. We have live music during the registration. It takes place at Plaza 88, starts at 4 p.m. on the Saturday. We have a little opening ceremony at 5, and then we send our walkers out and they do a walk through the downtown area as we're trying to raise funds for essential services provided by the YWCA, as well as the new 20-unit affordable housing complex that's currently under construction. A large part of the CNOY fundraising will be going towards that as well.
What are some of the fundraisers that lead up to the event during the month?
Well, some of our different teams, YWCA departments, do things like they have luncheons. We're doing actually an auction for the event, so we're looking for businesses that want to do a direct sponsorship that has great advertising and brand recognition, as well as some businesses that might want to donate gift cards, gift certificates, goods, services towards an auction, which will also go towards our coldest night of the year fundraising.
What is the purpose behind coldest night of the year? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish with it?
Well, as a YWCA, we work with some of the most community's most vulnerable members. So the coldest night of the year is about raising funds and awareness for the homeless, the hungry, and those are hurting in our community and need the essential services that the YWCA provides.
About how many people did you have participate last year?
We had, I think, about 120 walkers that were signed up and attended the event, as well as a whole bunch of volunteers that come and help make the event possible. So, yeah, we had a pretty good turnout. We're looking to get at least around that same amount this year, if not more. We always welcome more community members to come and take part and join us for the coldest night of the year walk.
Do you know how many years it's been running here in PA?
Oh, absolutely. This is our 8th year as the YWCA doing coldest night of the year every February.
Is there anything this year that is different from last year, or something that you decided to switch up?
No, we just try to make the event bigger and better every time. As I said, during the registration, we're going to have some live music with a local band playing. We'll have a photo booth on site so people can take some fun pictures and commemorate the moment. When the walk's all done, we have a nice warm meal. We'll have My Place catering taking care of the food. They make fantastic food, so it'll be a great meal after a walk. And again, hopefully it's not the actual coldest night of the year, but it is a nice brisk walk that helps raise awareness for the vulnerable community members that need our help.
What is your fundraising goal?
We are on the board with a $60,000 fundraising goal. We would love to just smash that out of the park. We have had a generous contribution from the Malcolm Jenkins Family Foundation, who are offering to match $25,000. So donations go twice as far for anybody who's looking to support the cause.
What would you say to encourage people to come out to the coldest night of the year?
It's a fun event. The funds go towards a great cause. It's great for the community. And again, the YWCA is a well-established organization that's been doing great work in the community for literally decades.
Is there anything that we didn't talk about that it's important to get across?
Just want to thank all the community sponsors that come out. We have a ton of great sponsors. I could go on for a half an hour about all of them. And as well, all the great community members that sign up to come out and walk and fundraise with us. We couldn't make this event possible without the great community support that we get. So we're hoping to get a lot more people signed up to come out and walk with us on February 28th.
If somebody is looking to find out more information, where can they go?
You can go directly to our Prince Albert event site, which is cnoy.org/Prince Albert, or you can go to our YWCA site. We've got all the information there, and there's a link to the main event site, and that's ywcaprincealbert.ca.
All right, thank you for speaking with me.
Oh, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for helping us get the word out about this great community fundraiser.
Jeff's got a look at the weather forecast right after the break, and on World Cancer Day, an Ottawa man's chemotherapy backpack and how it saved his life. So, Jeff, as we're looking at those sort of swirling weather patterns, it doesn't look like a whole lot of unsettled activity going on in Saskatchewan.
Not really. We've got some flurries that may show up in parts of northern Saskatchewan. I know we had that yesterday as well, John. But for the most part, we are continuing to look at a mild pattern. Basically, what's going on is you can start to see a bit of the track here, but this storm track goes way up and clips Yukon and then slides down this way. And so north of that line, it's going to be unsettled, more in the way of snowfall. And then south of that line, mild conditions and relatively calm conditions to deal with. So not a lot of active weather. We'll still keep our eye on this system. The possibility of some freezing rain might be there for parts of Alberta. We'll see whether or not any of that spreads into Saskatchewan. Let's take a look at some numbers, though. Here we go. We've got ourselves, first of all, let's take a look at the computer modeling. So there you go. Sort of just what I described in terms of how the storms are moving along that track that angles across from northeastern Alberta down into parts of Manitoba and into northern Ontario. And so the further south that system comes, that active weather comes, the more likelihood there will be the possibility of some rain-snow mix and maybe some rain. But generally speaking, it's a snow event and maybe not a lot in the way of snow. 2 degrees for the overnight. These are overnight temperatures. 2 on the plus side for Spiritwood and the Battlefords, Birch Hills, and Rostern. 1 in Candle Lake. Nipawin also at 1 degree overnight, and -1 overnight in Melfort with cloudy or mainly cloudy skies, and then throughout the region. Then we roll into Thursday, and Thursday is going to be the warmest day probably in the month of February. So 6 degrees in Spiritwood and the Battlefords, the same for Rostern, 4 for a daytime high in Candle Lake and Birch Hills, and 2 for Nipawin and 3 for Melfort. And generally speaking, we're looking at cloudy or mainly cloudy skies on Thursday for the region. On to Prince Albert and area, 1 degree, slight, ever so slight chance of showers or flurries, and winds out of the west 20, gusting to 40, so let's call those breezy conditions, but an overnight temperature of 1 degree, so staying above 0 in the overnight. And then as we roll into Thursday, things warm up to 5 degrees, and 5 degrees is essentially about 15 degrees above seasonal for Prince Albert and region. Cloudy skies, winds out of the northwest at 30, so certainly a windy day tomorrow. And here is the 7-day forecast for the Gateway City. -6 degrees on Friday. Saturday Saturday, some morning fog, cloudy skies in the afternoon, -2 degrees, -1 with a slight chance of some flurries on Sunday for Prince Albert and area, but that temperature staying mild. And even though it drops down to -5 to start the work week, that's still 5 degrees above seasonal, -6 on Tuesday, and 1 week from today, mainly cloudy skies and -3 degrees.
Yeah, -5 in Saskatchewan in February, kind of like tough life, right? It's hard to complain on.
Really, that would probably, between -5 and -10 is super livable, because it's like, okay, it's not that cold, but roads aren't messy. It's like, it's not too bad.
We've got winter, but it ain't unbearable.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, the Saskatchewan Rattlers are no more. The team has rebranded as the Saskatoon Mamba. It's all part of a new direction, with the team playing a new venue and having new ownership for the coming season. The Mamba will play 7 of their games at Merlis Belcher Place this season and 5 games at SaskTel Centre. New owner Jason Ribeiro says this isn't about reinventing the team, it's about reinvigorating the community.
You can do it when you felt it in the room. Something's different. And I think it was equally about charting a new path, introducing a new era. But frankly, with all the, outside of all the smoke and brand and all that good stuff, making real tangible changes in the way that this business, this entity, this cultural vehicle operates in the city of Saskatoon.
Ribeiro, who also owns the rival Calgary Surge, says despite the recent struggles of the team, he's committed to Saskatoon for years to come. A Saskatoon Special Olympian has passed away. The family of Ron Brandt says he passed away Tuesday after a heart attack. Brandt won multiple medals for Team Saskatchewan at the 2017 Special Olympics World Winter Games, including gold in the 4x100-meter snowshoe relay. Family members remember him for his outgoing, positive personality that made him well known around the city. Brandt was 67.
First day, I actually bought a backpack and brought it to the meeting, and my book wouldn't fit inside it, so it's a pretty big paper.
That's David Sanchez speaking to CTV Saskatoon's Jeff Rogstad at San Diego Chargers training camp in 2001. Rogstad happened to be in California, and Chargers camp, featuring some well-known former CFLers, was also going on too. So he strolled down there and got us this rare footage. This is Doug Flutie getting in some reps at practice, as well as current Stampeders head coach Dave Dickinson, who said it was not a huge adjustment to being a quarterback in the NFL.
You know, it's just you got to get up to speed. You got to take care of your own business. But in training camp, you're trying to learn. You're trying to get through it and peak for the games. And I think that's the same in the CFL or the NFL.
This was at a time when CFL quarterbacks were shining down south. But Doug Flutie never forgot about his career roots in Canada.
I think it's fun. You know, what's going to be fun is first exhibition game we play San Francisco, have Jeff Garcia, Dave, and I together. I think we all got to get Stampeder hats and get in uni and take a shot together. I think it says a lot for the CFL.
The CFL shining bright under the San Diego sun. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Today is World Cancer Day. An Ottawa man is sharing how a unique treatment helped save his life. It allowed him to receive chemotherapy 24/7 and successfully brought his cancer into remission. Leah LaRocque has the story.
You should consider yourself to be in complete remission.
Those are the words that Ted Wagstaff was always determined to hear.
Complete remission. Pretty powerful.
Last spring, the Ottawa business investor and father of 3 started to feel unwell.
I was on a business trip, and in the middle of the night, I woke up and I thought I had food poisoning.
But the diagnosis was far more severe.
I knew it was rare, I knew it was aggressive, and it's a deadly subtype.
He had multiple tumors. One was the size of a sweet potato.
I had double hit lymphoma.
Typical chemotherapy wasn't going to be enough. His personalized treatment involved a backpack so he could receive chemotherapy 24/7.
I would get literally a backpack with chemo in it and a pump. Every day I would go back to the hospital to get a new bag of chemo. I would sleep with it. I would shower with it, go for a walk. Just that my chemo backpack went everywhere with me.
His doctor says Wagstaff's journey shows the groundbreaking cancer work being done right here in Ottawa.
That sense of cancer not being one disease and patients not all being the same. And we are slowly, but we are definitely moving into a circumstance where we're not looking at one recipe that we apply to every patient. We're taking the patient's own biology and their specific type of cancer into consideration.
In total, I did 487 hours of chemotherapy.
Halfway through Wagstaff's treatment, he welcomed his first grandson, and 5 weeks after chemo, he completed a Tough Mudder endurance race. Now in remission, Wagstaff says his positive prognosis is largely because of this small backpack that carried the hope he needed.
I will never find the words to say thank you. I just won't. So I have immense gratitude for the Ottawa Hospital and what they did for me.
Leah LaRock, CTV News.
Jeff, some amazing views of Alaska are being provided by some unlikely photographers. 12 grizzly bears have been outfitted with video collar cameras in order to shoot footage for researchers. This area of Alaska is home to one of the most remote grizzly populations in the world. And while the framing isn't great, Jeff, I think the researchers are going to get a lot out of this, and so are we. Look at this.
A griz eye view of the world, not bad.
Very nice. Nice little nature shots. Couple where it looks like he's probably a little bit wet and cold, but all that fur keeps him nice and warm, I bet.
Well, aren't you the naturalist?
Some great shots.